This is a recording of the advice given by Her Holiness Mataji on the occasion of 3-day seminar held at Cowasji Jehangir Hall from 19 to 21st March 1976. This is a recording of the first day, that is of the 19th March 1976.
After a very long time, we are again assembled in this hall. When SahajaYoga was just in its infancy, we had arranged a program in this hall. Since then, by God's grace, SahajaYoga has settled in the minds of the SahajaYogis as if the rain has been absorbed by the hungry earth. SahajaYoga is not meant for people who are superficial and not seeking within themselves with all earnestness and the hankering of a seeker. It is not meant for people who are seeking God in the books, because God is not there. It is also not meant for people who think they can achieve God, that they can by their effort, by their extreme hatha, as we call it, obstinacy, win the grace of God. It is meant for those people who are from the heart all the time asking for Him and looking for Him for the genuine and for the reality. Sahaja, I have told you many a time, Sahaja means, Saha means with, and Ja is born with. I have elaborately told you many a times what is Sahaja. It is a spontaneous growth of your being into that infinite realm of God's bliss. We have to enter into the kingdom of God, not by words, not by deed, but it has to be the actualization of the experience. If you are satisfied by the tomfoolery and the spiritual jugglery that is going on, it is better you take to that course and be lost. But for Sahaja, you have to be an earnest and a genuine seeker. Whatever mistakes you have committed in your search will be forgiven by God, because He knows that it was in ignorance that all these mistakes were committed. We have here some Sahajogis who know this. But when I see people and when I have experience of them, I am sometimes surprised the way they are contradictory to themselves. how they live with those contradictory ideas, it is something beyond the imagination of God Almighty also. It has been since ages one simple question: how to reach the infinite through this finite mind, through this rationality which God has given. This is the eternal problem which has been there from the times of Socrates, Confucius, Kant, Hegel. All these great philosophers have been only asking this question in all their findings and search: how to reach the infinite through this finite. As it is, human being is made that way, that he has to worry for himself and worry also about God's doing. He is also worried how God is going to give him this blessing. Who has created you? Who has created this universe? Who has created this beautiful heaven for you here? But you are worried, how is he going to give you that blessing by which you will know the heaven within yourself? You are worried how he is going to bestow upon you the bliss of self-knowledge. You need not worry. It is his job. But he has made you like this. He has made you this way, especially with a purpose. The articulation of your personality came into being just like an egg develops a shell around itself to grow. In the same way, you also developed a shell in which you have to develop your personality, your being in such a manner that ultimately you become the proper instrument to receive that knowledge that is God, that is divine, and then to emit it to others and to see it, to be aware of that, to be a sakshi, to be a witness of that divine flowing through you. Of course, some of these philosophers never had any inkling of that divine. Some of them did have. That's why there's such a disparity in what they say. But there have been really genuine people, most of them, and they have been honest about their not finding it or finding it. But today is the worst time of hypocrisy, known as Kali Yuga, in which every Dick, Tom, Harry has started claiming that he is the person who is going to introduce you to him. And he has formed his own ideas and his own imagination to give you that this is how you are going to receive him. I have got it already. There's one thing good about Kali Yuga is that all the ancient scriptures are for you, written down long time back, and you have to tally it with. If it is Bible, it is there. If it is Quran, it is there. And if it is any one of the Vedas, it is there. But when you start your new scriptures and new ideologies and try to fit in everything according to that, when you try to mold God into your own cups of weaknesses, then how can you be sahaja, spontaneous? So the problem today in Kali Yuga is much worse than it was ever before, because apart from the original articulation we have had, we have many more articulations on us. The worst of all is the mental articulation. That we think by reading books, by talking about books, by giving lectures or by receiving it through lectures, we are going to achieve. You are sadly mistaken. This is the greatest Maya or the illusion, I think, of the present day. Other Mayas can be conquered, but this is one of the most elusive temptations for the modern man, that he thinks by reading, by listening about God, he is going to achieve. It is a spontaneous. Let us understand what is spontaneous. Spontaneous is natural living thing that happens to us. For example, you see a seed. When you plant it, it spontaneously grows. Do you stand on your head before that seed, or do you read books, or does the seed has to read the books of germination to get germinated? Not that. Never. But it is only the human being who think so foolishly, which an ordinary dog also doesn't think that. You may say that there are books which are truthful. There are books which are pouring reality. But have you got any measure to know which are the books which are pouring reality and which are not? There are gurus who are, of course, prospering, materially better, because they tell you, you take sannyasa, you take sannyas, you renounce, and bring all the money to me. And foolishly, so many human beings are attached and attracted towards such people. Why? Because our articulation has given us this darkness that we grope to something that is false much faster than to reality. We are shaken up within ourselves. We haven't got strength to hold to the reality, to ask for the reality, that they have to give us the reality. So anybody who speaks, you see, in a bombastic manner, quotations after quotations, reading this, reading that, giving you big lectures, people are very much fascinated. They think by listening to lectures, you are going to have. Never, never. It is going to happen to you. You have been to so many lectures before. You have listened to so many people. There have been many gurus, good and bad. Have you been able to make out who is a real guru and who is not? How will you know that this man is talking from the seventh heaven? It may be a Rakshasa talking to you. It may be a devil incarnate in these horrible days. He could be anything who is talking to you. What makes you believe that some person who is behaving like a God man is a real God man or not? There is a way. And that is why when there is a more necessity, the things happen by which you know. You have to become something else to know what is what. You have to be reborn. You are to be baptized. You have to become a Brahmin. You have to become a Musalman. You have to become a Christian. You are to be reborn. You are born with a body. You are born with a mind, which is articulated. You have to jump into that infinite love of God to know who is emitting that love. And then the knowledge comes to you. Unless and until your eyes are open, don't believe into any personality because he knows how to impress you people. And even not me, unless and until I have been able to give you that which you are seeing. You must ask for the reality. Ask for that from me. I cannot give you anything else but that. Unless and until you have had that experience, the actualization of that, of the SahajaYoga by which you receive the blessings within yourself and you feel it and it emits through your extremities and you see that power flowing through you, which is known as the Chaitanya Lahari, which was very well described by Adi Shankaracharya, whom nobody reads these days. They want to read somebody who talks of sex. The mind is so much attached to sex that everything must come through sex, otherwise nothing goes here. These people who try to impress you try to work on your weakness. But a mother is not going to do that. A mother is going to give you the real that is there and is going to tell you that, my child, this has been wrong, and you have to get detached from that idea and stand within yourself. Every one of them, those who have been great, have been saying, na yogena sankhena, Shankaracharya. But Hindus are the first who will go to yoga, to Hatha Yoga. When Shankaracharya never did any one of these yogas. Yogas are meant for very, very few people. For very few people who live with a guru in the jungles. You have to do 6 things simultaneously under the guidance of an evolved soul. But everybody is trying to do yoga because they want to slim down. God is not to be used for this frivolous thing. All right, you do exercise is different. But this is no yoga. Yoga means union with God. It is union with God. It is not the union with the worldly things that you think so important. Those who go to the extremes of things are also no good for SahajaYoga. Extreme takes you away from reality, which was said by Gautam Buddha. He said, take to the middle path. Keep to the middle path. But his disciples have gone to the extreme path of foolishness. He said, don't worship any gods and goddesses at that time, because he was in Sahaja. So his disciples started worshipping his tooth, nail, everything. Of course, that too has a meaning, but not for people who are not realized. How can you make out whether the hair of Muhammad Saab is in that place in Kashmir or it is of some impostor? Have you got any method by which you can detect? I can say it is the hair of Muhammad Saab. I say that. But why should you accept me also? With all your brains and intelligence, why should you accept anything which is not actually focused within your awareness, which is not brought within your awareness? There is a method, there is a way, there is an education, but it is a spontaneous. It happens to you. You just become that. This education comes to you in such a manner, in such a way, that even a child knows. It is a subjective knowledge that comes to you. When you jump into that divine love through SahajaYoga, then you become one with collective consciousness. It's not that I tell you that you are collectively conscious, but you become conscious. For example, now, for me, when I say that this sari has got a border, you will say, yes, of course we know, we can see that. But if I say that you are all one, bound by one string within yourself, we have big organizations describing human beings, they are all brothers and sisters, we are all one, we have to be one nation. But this is just conditioning, artificial talking about it. But if you become a Sahaja-yogi, immediately you know that you are one with another because you can feel the other person. It is fantastic, but it is happening, and it will happen to you also if this experience dawns upon you. What do you feel in collective consciousness? For example, I put my hand towards someone like this. Immediately I can feel it. What is the problem with the kundalini of that person? That means immediately my fingers will indicate to me because they indicate all the chakras, the centers. And immediately I can decode it and say that this is the finger and that's why there's a problem here in the Vishuddhi chakra. Is an absolute truth, has been experimented. But people do not want to see the truth. They want to see some magic. It's an absolute truth. Once you put your hands towards somebody, immediately a Sahaja-yogi can say that this person is suffering from some throat trouble. And when that person starts rubbing the hand, the other person feels better. You can even feel a little lump in the throat here. Understanding that another person also has got a problem. This is a fact. This is scientific. If I say something to you, you should just take it as an hypothesis. But if it works in you, then you go ahead with it and see for yourself that these vibrations that are flowing through you, are they not working it out? Luckily, in Bombay, now we have many Sahaja-yogis spread out all over the place who have got vibrations and who have experimented. But there is a university, Rahuri University, which is working on the vegetables and the wheat. And when they put this Chaitanya, this divine force on the wheat, they found that it was 10 times more than it was normal. It was produced in such a large bulk. They have tried many experiments with this, and they are amazed at the result that these vibrations produce on the vegetables and the food that we eat. Of course, they have published also in the papers, but nobody wants to see with their eyes open, want to know about it. It's the joke of this Kali Yuga. We have definitely cured people of cancer because it's the control of the parasympathetic that we arrive after realization. And cancer cannot be cured by anything else but Sahaja, you take it down today. You cannot cure cancer without Sahaja. You may just give some gap. You see, some sort of a stop-gap arrangement could be done. But you cannot cure. Because through the parasympathetic nervous system, only you can refill your sympathetic nervous system. It is a fact. And we have cured many cancer patients. There are some doctors who have cured it. They are sitting down here. But they are also breaking their heads because these doctors do not want to come and open their eyes because they think their practice will be lost. Just think of that. There was a doctor whom we approached. He was a very well-known surgeon. He was a cardiologist of Bombay. And when we approached him, we talked to him, he wouldn't just listen to us even. And I told him very frankly that, doctor, your own heart is in danger, be careful. He said, how do you know? I said, I can feel your cardiac plexus and it is absolutely in a mud. But he wouldn't believe that. And he had a very bad heart which was discovered after 3-4 months, and then he died of heart. Today I read in the papers about cardiologists coming here. Will they ever come and listen to us and know that heart can be cured? Now there is a patient here who was a heart patient, has been cured by Sahaja. Because it is free, it is just flowing. You do not believe in love. You believe in money. If you pay money to someone and if he cures you, you think it is something great because it satisfies your ego. But if mother says that by love, by this divine love, you can be cured, you will immediately, how can that be? But curing is not the only point. That's not so important. Of course, it is a byproduct. Because when the divine has to come into you, your body is cured. But mentally also, you must have heard how many mental cases we have cured. All mental stress and strain is due to the tension built up by the sympathetic nervous system. And when this tension is built up, you feel you are very tense, you have got high blood pressure, you have got all kinds of problems. Even people are becoming mad now. Especially in the affluent country, I find people are very nervous because they have exhausted their sympathetic flow and they have to fill in through the parasympathetic. Despite all that, they will not ask for relaxation. When I say through SahajaYoga, you can immediately get relaxation because your parasympathetic is filled in. The petrol that was exhausting is again filled in. They will not ask for it. It is most amazing the way human beings are. But supposing tomorrow I take out a ring, diamond ring, even the people who are supposed to be very rich would be running after it. Haven't they got sufficient rings with them that they are running after rings? I can understand people who have no money. But it is the rich who are running after such people who are giving them rings. There have been such horrible organizations in our country. It's shameful the way people have been following them. You have heard of them. Some of them are already landed in the jail. All these money-making things can only thrive because the human beings themselves are not yet ready, are not yet prepared to receive the reality. But if they are not prepared, a day may come when the reality has to express itself. It will destroy all such people. It will have to destroy because it has to come. You are to be tuned in such a manner that you receive that love. But the same love, when you do not accept, you will be thrown out of evolutionary process. The time is very short, believe me, the time is very short. Within 2 years' time, I have to tell you, things are going to be decided. While people are already lost, thanks to these thugs and these cheats who want to make money, shamelessly living on other people's money luxuriously, selling their artificial enticement. At least if very few of them could take upon themselves that we are going to receive the reality. We are asking for the reality who can save the humanity even today. SahajaYoga, if you say it is my discovery, I would say it is not. It is the discovery of this age, the discovery of the seekers, those who have been hankering for it, those who have been asking for it. So God says, all right, have it now. But when it comes to have it, they don't want to have it. Like Tulsidasa wrote all his Tulsi Ramayana, and when Sri Rama himself appeared before him, he put a tilak on his head, and still he could not recognize who was Sri Rama. You must understand that God cannot allow His creation to be destroyed. He must have made some provision within you. He must have made some sort of arrangement within you to enlighten you at a point when there will be complete darkness. This is the time of complete darkness. At this time, the light has to come. How it happens, how it works out. There is an engineering behind it, no doubt, there is. What God has planned into you, how a human being is made, and what has brought out. All these happenings in the SahajaYoga, I will be discussing tomorrow, explaining to you. I have done it many a times about Kundalini. But I'll also give you the side effects of Kundalini, the way people have misused the name, the word Kundalini, that is your mother. That I will tell you tomorrow. It is no use wasting time in talking. As you all are here, I think it is better that for a short time, if you could go into meditation, let us see if it works out with some of you. Then tomorrow at 10 o'clock we are having the meditation. Do come for that. You will not come for meditation today, but after 6 months when I come back from London, then there will be a row of people for curing them. It's something surprising the way we are. There are so many people whom I tell that why don't you come for SahajaYoga, why don't you get it? Instead of getting cancer later on and waiting in my house for hours together to get a darshan of Mataji. What has happened to our brains? If I say that I give you something that is eternal, which will give you a complete cure and a curative power yourself, not only but you can raise the Kundalini of others and give realization to others. It is such a fantastic thing in a bundle I want to give you, but you want to come to my house for treatment. I told them, why don't you come to my program? They said, no, mother, we want to get cured. There are so many wrestlers who come to me, mother, give us peace. Why don't you come to our program? No, mother, you give us peace. We command God. You give us this, you do this for us, do that for us. What is your right to do that? How do you command God all the time that you must do this for me, you must do that? Are you connected with Him? Have you entered into His citizenship? You have not. You have no right on Him. But when you start calling His name, Rama, 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 who appears before you is a Ramagadi, is a servant. God does not want the homages of slaves. Unless and until you are liberated, you have no right on God. But once you are liberated, He comes. He acts. He looks after. He does everything. Whether He does it or not, you should come and receive it and see for yourself. We see a temple here, we'll say, all right, very good, we must say namaskar. If we go to a church, we'll nicely sing a hymn, oh, we've been to church on a Sunday. Finished. And then when there is a problem, oh God, please save my mother, she's very sick. Oh God, give job to my husband. Oh God, look after my children. Why? Because you have just said namaskar to Him. But you don't have to do anything. Only think from your heart, you have to say, oh Lord, shine into me. Give me light. Enlighten me. That's all. You don't have to say anything. It just works like that. But are we that genuine? Is our attention that free? Our attention is lost into so many things. This attention is created, human attention is specially created only to enter into that divine ocean. while our attention is lost into such things that are absolutely useless and temporary, which we are not seeking really. It's a camouflage. We think we are seeking in that. We are not. If you are seeking joy and bliss, then ask for it. You have to just ask for it and you will have it. The time has come. The blossom time has come. That's why it is going to work out. Of course, it cannot be a plastic production, but it is going to be en masse. Many people are going to get realization and have got it. You know, in Bombay there are many people who have got it. But there are very few who have reached a height and they have kept there. But so many of them, they rise and come down. They rise and come down. They do not settle. You have to steady your boats when you get into it. That is also can be done through SahajaYoga. So many of you have now done it. You have to do it. That is the time you have to do it after realization. Before realization, no religion has any meaning for you. No religious ritual or anything whatsoever, the prayers or anything has any help for you. Actually, very few of those high-spirited people, I should say the great people who were born, the evolved people, did not know that you are not even awakened. They did not know this point, because when I read their books, I feel that just like small children, they have said that you hold the force in your vital force in your heart and raise it. How can you raise it? There is no vital force already awakened. You are not even awakened people. How can you? There is only a inkling, abhas, towards which you are running. But you are not even awakened people. How can you do the things that they have to? It's so artificial. When you will know through SahajaYoga, you will really feel like laughing at those things. So let us have the experiment of SahajaYoga, which I have told you is the simplest thing, and you don't have to do anything. It's like one light which is enlightened has to enlighten another light. The light which is not yet enlightened cannot do anything about it. But once it is enlightened, it has to give light to others. There are many Sahajogis and also there are new people, I can see them. Let us work it out, and tomorrow also do come for meditation. After meditation, I will also have a curative, which I have not announced in the paper because I know there will be thousands of them coming here. Let me first make some good doctors. And we have made some very good doctors. Nobody is barred. Everybody is invited with great love and with great honor. Do come. It is your mother's own cooking. It's your own mother's giving, which does not mean giving. Actually, by giving you only I feel relieved. It is like that. So it's more you are doing an obligation towards me than I am doing anything to you. Because I cannot receive anything. I can only give. That's my problem. I would request you to put your hands towards me this way.